We are live. Phred.
We live.
Long time coming, brother.
Long time.
You know, when I first got into knowing I wanted to do this, I had you were way up on the list of people I wanted to talk to, because you bring a lot to the table, but more than anything, 20 years of friendship.
Absolutely.
What is up, brother?
What's up, man?
Man.
Everything good?
Yeah. You got your lovely wife over here.
Hey, Steph.
Thank her for coming and chilling with us. And I figured you probably would come with them, so I'm glad you did. I'm going to hit the share button here on a couple things real quick, like I always do, guys, and we're gonna get y'all an hour and a half or so of a good time, or however long. We do not have time constraints here, so just however long they want to stay and how interested y'all are.
Let's do it.
It takes forever to get down to these things sometimes. Y'all be sure to go on and hit the like button, hit the share button, share this into as many places as you can. That is more valuable than anything you can do for the growth of this page. Share. Oh yeah, we can read all the comments here.
Oh yeah, they've been going off, huh?
So, y'all got any questions for Phred? Hit them up in the comments. Give us a few minutes, and I promise we're gonna get back to them. I like it, man. I see them shares racking up. That's what I'm talking about.
Already?
Yep. We're up to 7. You know, we usually get 50 or so, usually. We'll see how it works. Depends on what people are doing. All right, guys. Welcome to JXN Uncensored, episode 39. Baby Phred Harley.
That's
you
it.
still go by Baby Phred?
Well, I'm old now, Clay, so.
Teenage Phred now.
Yeah.
Teenage Phred.
I graduated to teenage, so yeah.
Well, Phred, look, man, I appreciate you coming all the way out here to South Jackson and doing the show with me tonight. We'll start off. I'm going to thank my sponsors real quick, and we will mention them a couple times throughout the show here. We're in the USA Pawn Studios.
Okay.
Here at the South Jackson mega compound. Look, man, y'all check out USA Pawn. 6 metro area locations, or 6 central Mississippi locations. McDowell Road Mega Store, Woodrow Wilson, Ellis Avenue, Pearl, Canton, and Vicksburg. Check them out online at usapawn.com. Also, the gym at Byram. If you're looking for a gym home, the gym at Byram.com. Give them a call at 601-372-2229. 24/7 access, full service family fitness center. They got it all. Indoor basketball, private female workout facility, the whole 9 yards. Tanning. My wife always reminds me, they have tanning. Tell them they got tanning. They got tanning. The whole night. It's the real deal gym. This is not just a little $10 a month fitness center. And then last but not least, father and son Southern Lawncare. If you're in the Tri-County area, you need your yard manicured, cut, anything like that, give Danny White and the team a call at 601-301-3210. That is father and son Southern Lawncare. 601-301-3210. And as always, if you're interested in linking up and us advertising your brand and you think Save Jackson is a good fit for you, just send me a message and we can see what we can work out. We don't work with everybody. Everybody's not a fit. I can't promote stuff that I don't feel good about. You know, it's not, we don't do this for money, but it does help support what we do. So, all right, let's jump in.
Jump all the way in.
Phred.
Yo.
Hell State.
Hell State all the way, man.
Hell State. They're thick and thin.
And we looking thin right now.
Look, you know, I always pick at my Ole Miss friends. You know, and after every loss, it's like, I'm still an Ole Miss fan. Like, why you always got to remind everybody? We know. I don't expect you to not be a fan no more after a loss.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a bandwagon State or Ole Miss fan.
No.
I mean, really. I mean, you may get a few that come on here and there with the wins rack up, but at the end of the day, we don't win in industrial amounts like an Alabama and an LSU and some of these other places do to really have any bandwagon fans.
Yeah, but it hurts to lose. It really does. But once you locked in, you just locked in, man. It's tough being a State fan, but
it is, man. Look, I would tell y'all to follow Phred on Twitter for some of the best best Mississippi State stuff, but because Phred,
somebody just said I miss you on Twitter.
Because Phred is a very outspoken conservative, He got zapped on the Twitters.
Yeah, they zapped me good, man.
Apparently, he said something about Joe Biden that they didn't like, and so those fake black Trump supporter pages they zapped. Yeah. They're not all fake. They're not all fake.
They zapped me.
So, Phred, you're from Jacktown, right?
Absolutely.
Brown bottom.
Absolutely.
All right.
Brown bottom, proud of it.
Tell us about yourself, man. Let's start at the beginning, man. You ain't got to tell us your age if you don't want to.
Nah, I don't mind. I'm 49 years old.
49, going on 29.
Exactly.
Look, all right, so brown bottom. Mm-hmm. Where'd you go to high school?
I graduated from Murrah High School.
Murrah?
Mm-hmm. Mustangs.
I was about to say the Mustangs, right?
Absolutely.
So, that's what's up there. When did you graduate?
1990.
90. Man, I was 96.
96. You young.
96. All right, so then tell us a little bit here. So you joined the Marines at what point? Right out of high school?
Right out 1 week.
One week.
After I graduated, 1 week home, I was headed out.
So what was the inspiration for that?
Most of it was because people told me I couldn't make it in the Marine Corps.
Really?
Yeah.
So had to prove them wrong.
Had to prove them wrong.
So by the way, and I felt like I should have mentioned that, Phred, is you're never a former Marine, right? You're a Marine forever.
Yeah.
So
not active, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been corrected a couple times when I introduced my friend Corey McDonald. He's like, no. You're never a former Marine. He used to be a Marine. He's like, I'm always a Marine.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yep. Yeah. So how long were you active?
4 years.
You did the 4?
That's all you can take.
No.
That's all you can take of that.
So, did you go overseas? Tell us a little bit, man. Did you fight? Were you in any wars?
I was actually in boot camp during the Gulf War. They were trying to rush us through boot camp to try to get us out of there to get to boot camp to go to the war. And I just didn't. I was to the bus, had all my desert camis, all my desert gear. This captain came on the bus, and I was one of the 2 names that was called to stay behind equipment, to fix the equipment and send it back to Iraq.
So was that a blessing?
Lucky.
Was that a blessing?
Yes.
I don't think anybody. I meet guys every now and then, man, that were like they want to get back over there as quick as they can. I don't know if it's the money, if they just enjoy that, or what. It takes a special kind of dude.
Oh, no doubt.
And woman that wants to go do that. And look again, thank you for your service, brother.
No doubt, man.
I mean that. The more we get into chaos, and the more of an adult I become, the more I appreciate
exactly.
what the military has done to give us these freedoms. Hell,
exactly.
To give what you guys did or do gives these asshats and like Antifa the ability to go out there and riot and raise Cain,
absolutely,
and burn flags and everything they do. Kneel for the anthem.
Yeah,
all that stuff. So
disrespectful stuff.
Absolutely, but it's the freedom that the military has provided us through fighting.
Absolutely.
This gives them the opportunity to be idiots.
Everybody can't do that job.
No. So, speaking on that, what are your thoughts? So, we've been friends for 20 years.
Absolutely.
As with most people, you go through life and stuff, and you go a little time without seeing and talking to people. Mm-hmm. Been following you. Of course, I've kept up with you on social media and all that. Probably hadn't hung out with you since 08, 09, mm-hmm. really, But tell us, when the whole kneeling for the anthem stuff started, mm-hmm. what did you think? They always say it's not about disrespecting the military or the flag. As a military guy, mm-hmm. was it disrespectful?
It was disrespectful because look, when I started serving, when I served my country, I took an oath for everything, good or bad. I don't believe in kneeling for the flag, man.
No, people talk about using your platform.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing they like to mention. Well, I'm going to use my platform to get this message across. Well, your platform is not your job. Your platform is your personal brand away from your work.
Absolutely.
Unless you are your platform. Mm-hmm. Like Save Jackson is my platform.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use it to do whatever I want to do. But if I go to my job and I jump on my work social media account mm-hmm. and I start having these conversations, mm-hmm. albeit whether it's conservative, liberal, whatever, their phone would light up. What the hell? And I would probably not have a job at the end of the day. And I would be like, yeah, I kind of expected that.
Yeah.
So I get a laugh when people, if their politics line up with what they like, they think it's great for you to politic at work. Mm-hmm. But if it's the opposite, it's like no. You know, they don't want it, and I just don't think it's the place for it.
No.
You know, you don't own a team. You work for somebody. You're going to work.
And no one is saying protesting is bad. It's just the way you have to do it.
Sure.
I mean, why bring it to your job?
I'm all for protesting.
Why bring it to people, football and basketball and all that? I don't think that's a place for that.
No, I agree. I support protesting. All of just keep it peaceful.
That's it.
I don't care what else you do. You know, stay out of the middle of the road. You know, but you know,
somebody been getting ran over.
Yeah, man. I mean, folks get out in the middle of the interstate trying to block interstates but for what? Like you see it on TV, and they block an interstate. But what are you doing? What are you trying to tell? You block the interstate? All you've done is cause cars to stop. Uh-huh. Nobody is sitting in their car thinking, we got a racist problem in America. What can I do to make it better so I don't have to sit stuck in traffic anymore? I'm guaranteeing that thought didn't go through nobody's mind. And they do it in a lot of these uber liberal cities where it's a lot of the same thinking ideas. You know, like echo chambers. Yeah. You know, like speaking of, I'm just kind of bouncing all over the place a little bit to get started because I want to find us something to sink our teeth into, but I want to paint a picture for everybody that doesn't know. So we had lunch today. Yeah. You, myself, my friend Marvell, and Chad Wesley.
Yeah.
4 pretty different dudes, man.
Absolutely.
You know, different backgrounds, different political beliefs. Well, you and I share very similar political beliefs. But Chad, more libertarian, Marvell, more Democrat. But very similar dudes. I mean, Marvell drives a jacked up truck, hunts, has big guns.
Absolutely.
Everything about him would say, if you were just stereotyping, he's a conservative.
Absolutely.
But he's not. And they would probably look at you and say, he's probably a Democrat.
Yeah.
You know, athletic wear, stuff of that nature. If we're stereotyping, Chad, I'm pointing over here because that's where he was sitting across from me. And you were sitting right here beside me. So we're almost sitting like we were. So, you know, if you look at Chad, you know, he's got a hippie vibe about him, you know. I mean, more of a rock star, but, you know, again, stereotyping, you can probably say, oh, probably liberal, hippie kind of dude, you know. And musicians get that unfairly attached to them one way or the other. Yeah. And I don't want to discuss their personal politics because they're not here to discuss it. But, man, what a great conversation.
It was an awesome conversation.
You know, it was 4 dudes that sat down and shut up and let the other person talk.
With different beliefs.
Yeah.
4 dudes with different mindsets, different beliefs. But I think we should be able to have an open conversation with each other without getting mad at each other.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get mad about somebody who they're voting for. And I mean, to be honest with you, when you go inside that booth, nobody knows who nobody's voting for. You know what I'm saying? You in there by yourself, you get to push whatever button you want to push. Nobody knows. So,
well, you know, that's one of the things. And look, I can't speak for what the right does because I don't see the negative that they do when it comes to that. I don't see the intimidation from people on the right telling people or telling businesses, we must know your politics.
Yeah.
You don't get to be in the middle. Yeah. Silence is violence. That always comes from the left.
Yeah.
So as a conservative, I don't really care what your politics are. Or just as Clay Edwards here, I don't care what your politics are. As long as you're not shoving them.
That shouldn't determine are we going to be friends or not.
Absolutely not. It doesn't determine if I'm going to do business with you.
Hey, me and my wife don't think everything the same. We clash all the time because we have different views about things.
Same with Crystal. I mean, we have our core values, pro-life, faith.
Yep.
But it gets a lot more gray area after that. You know, I mean, she has her beliefs, and you know, she's not a huge Trump fan of of his the way he talks and the way he treats women. You know, publicly, the way it comes across. You know, the womanizer type stuff. She's not a fan of that, and I've been able to disconnect myself from that because I did not vote for him to be my preacher.
Exactly.
I voted for him to be the most powerful man in the world and not get us ran over and stepped on by people. And sometimes it takes an asshole. I told you I said that was one of my words. I try not to cuss.
That's not me, Brother Chad. I didn't cuss. I'm not cussing.
You know, I didn't vote for him to be my guiding light. Yeah. You know, he's the guy that, you know, we know that we fight wars. We assassinate bad people.
Are we voting for it? Are we voting with emotions? Or are we voting for the best person to run the country? I'm thinking that we vote emotionally.
Well, we do, but we shouldn't.
No. You should leave your emotions out of anything that you're going. If anything that's gonna make the country better or something like a hard vote, you don't never need to vote with emotions. I think that's where we mess up at.
You know, and I can tie that back into sports. So if I decide to gamble, you know, I will not bet on State or Ole Miss.
No.
You know, because I'm not going to bet State and them lose, and I don't want to bet Ole Miss and then win. I enjoy watching them lose, and I enjoy watching State win. So I can't go catch myself betting money for Ole Miss to win.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't in good faith turn around and bet money on them to lose and then them win.
Yeah.
You know, and then State, you know, I don't want to try that reverse psychology where if they lose, I win. If they win, I lose.
Yeah.
You know, so and then of course they probably win and not cover, so I would just lose money to watch them win. So anyway, talking about, you know, with emotion and stuff. So that's something I always think about. But you make a great point, man. Yes, do you vote with? If you just wrote, I had this conversation yesterday with somebody. If you took conservative and Democrat or Republican and Democrat off the top of the paper, and you wrote the party's policies down, left and right, not literally, but on each side of the paper, and you pitch like that, like if you went into a voting booth and outside of the president, we all know the president is who's a Republican, who's a Democrat, and you just voted on that person's policies, and you didn't know if they were Republican or Democrat, it would serve us so much better.
Then you got to ask yourself. Then you'll know which side are you leaning toward.
Yeah,
I'm pro-life. I don't believe in abortion.
Yeah, me either.
At all.
Me either. You know, we talk about it on here regularly and often. We've ran people away and we've gained followers because of it. And I don't care one way or the other. You know, but that is it's unwavering in that. But yeah, I think it would serve us all so much better if we did not know who half these people were. That as far as their political beliefs, I can make an argument to do away with the two-party system. You know, and just like vote for the best person. But you know, it's about money and fundraising and.
At the end of the day, Clay, I think every human being just wants a good life. Everybody wants to live good. I think it's just everything is so emotional. Everything is so soft now. Like we can't say certain things. And you know, I'm old school. I didn't grow up that way. I grew up being able to speak my mind, say what I want to say. You like it or don't. We don't have to argue. We don't have to fight about it. But my beliefs are my beliefs.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things I really respect about you. And here's a question I wanted to ask is, when do you think as a country that we got to this point where being real about something equal being racist about it? Like, if I'm a realist and I look at a situation and I'm able to talk about it, the color of the parties in topic of conversation should be irrelevant. But, like, white dude talks about crime in Jackson, I get pinned as a racist all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's unfair, but I think it's...
When did you become a racist, bud?
I know. Well, it depends on who you ask.
I mean, I never known you to be a racist.
I know. It diverts the attention away from the problem. You know, it's like...
I honestly think the word is just used too loosely.
Oh, it is.
You know, it's like like I talked to my wife about this. I think it's easy to stop the dialogue. It's easy for you to just, so I don't have to get into a deep conversation. I'm just going to claim you as a racist and be done with it. It's used too loosely, man. I don't think everybody's a racist. I mean, you can look, you know, I honestly figured out that the word redneck is not racist. It's just a country person. It's like a person, like the Duck Dynasty guys. They're Christian guys.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you just saw them, the first thing come out of your mouth, we judge people off the look of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I hear a lot of people when they see me, they're like, man, I would have never thought that you were that way or you spoke proper English, or it's because they're already stereotyping you before you even get a word out of your mouth. Oh, yeah. And that's unfair to another human being.
You know, I tell this story all the time. I don't know if I ever told it on here, but friendship to friend, I tell this story a lot. You know, you could take a stereotypical thug, well, it was stereotypical,
which that word is used too much too.
Absolutely, and a stereotypical black thug and a stereotypical white redneck.
Yeah.
You know, or white trash, whatever the worst version of each race. You know, And if you strip the color away,
yeah,
they're so similar. They're the most extreme version of whatever the worst thing. You recognize them. You stereotype them by what they drive, what kind of music they listen to. One lives in a hood, one lives in a trailer park.
Yeah.
No knock on trailer parks, but you know what I'm saying.
Or the hood.
Yeah, or the hood. No knock on either one.
Yeah.
Where you're from does not define you. But these are the stereotypes that people look at and say, Rankin County white trash.
Yeah.
Jackson thug.
Yeah.
You hear these things or trailer park trash. You hear these things all the time. And the people are so similar. Neither one is probably voting for the party that they need to be voting for that benefits their come up the best, because they're voting on emotion.
Exactly.
Versus policy. And we just always talk about, man, these guys, they're so much the same. It's just funny to me. And I don't know how to articulate it quite like I want to, but they're so similar that once if you strip the color away, one probably only listens to hardcore rap music, one probably only listens to hardcore country music, and it's just like check. One drives a jacked up truck, one drives a donk, and it's just these little things that you just notice, like, man, they're the same person.
Absolutely.
Then both have racist tendencies, a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm an independent thinker, man. I've always thought on my own. I always thought, I always looked at every situation and made the best decision for me and my family. Just even growing up as a kid, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Coming from Brown Bottom raised me to be tough. You have to be tough where I come from, and that's just the bottom line. You either your mind's gonna be tough, or you're gonna be physically tough. And I take my hats off to everybody that showed me the way through life in Brown Bottom, because it made me the man who I am right now.
So speaking of Brown Bottom, you were telling me a story today about going to see a family member. You had your daughter with you, and there was a car that had circled around. She counted 40 times.
Yeah.
40 times. And they weren't stalking y'all or nothing.
No, they
like
weren't
that.
stalking. It's just the nature of the beast.
They don't leave the neighborhood.
You don't leave the neighborhood. Look, when you have to, I know I was always an adventurous person. My mind was always adventurous. I never settled on what my life was going to be. Like even to the fact of like my daughter was like, I keep seeing the same car go around. I said, because a lot of people in the hood, they know what they know, they like what they like, and they don't want to venture out. I'm a venturer. I like to venture out to the world, find people, talk to people. My mom used to always say, this kid will talk to a tree, because I'm just a social butterfly. I like to get to know people. I don't look at everybody and look at their race and think, oh, okay, this guy's a racist because he has money. Or I don't look at people that way. I look at people. I judge you by how you treat me. I don't care what color you are, because there's bad people on both sides. But I find it easy for just to get to know people before you just judge them. Because all of us do it. All of us see people out in the world and we look at them, and then first thing we think, even if we just thinking the most negative thing about them, we haven't talked to them, we don't know their background, we don't know where they even come from. But and my wife used to get on me a lot about that, because I used to look at people and be like, oh man, I bet he's crazy, or I bet she's crazy. Or you have to get to know people. I like to know and talk to people. Yeah. I don't make judgment on people until you treat me different and treat me wrong. And I'm just not gonna call everybody a racist because they don't think the way I think. No,
and I'm terrible about it still to this day. I've got a personal war going with white liberals. So, and I feel like I can spot one from a mile away.
Oh my God!
And on the worst one, I'm like, skinny jean wearing ass white liberal. We don't agree. And I'm guilty of it, and I admit it, and I try to get better about it. I try, but it's hard. So I get what people do. And then you see somebody, like, we went to the fair. I haven't been to the fair in years. Just sitting back in one of the beer tents, watching the people walk up and down the midway.
Yeah.
Well, and
people watching.
Oh, yeah, man. You see some clown shows. And it's like, I just think to myself sometimes, I'm like, in the back of my mind, like, they don't have a single friend. Because there's no way that a real friend would have said, yeah, girl.
Wear that.
That's the outfit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I remind myself, Phred, that over the years, when I ended up having to socialize with people like that, they ended up being the coolest people in the world.
Absolutely.
The people who are the most,
absolutely,
just carefree, fun people in the world. So it is a reminder to not stereotype or just look at somebody like, man, they got fluorescent green hair. They don't think the same way I do politically. Because you don't know that. You know, I mean, and then you'll see people that you think the same way you do. They think the complete opposite.
Yeah.
You know, and then we had our lunch today, and it was just such a great reminder to get out and
mingle,
man. Talk to people different. You know, and I didn't tell anybody today what I was doing.
People are afraid of tough conversations, Clay.
Yep. I set that conversation up today, not telling anybody else in the group what I was doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to get 4 different people, and we had somebody else that was going to come, and he couldn't make it, got tied up at work. You know, and I wanted people to be able to sit down and have a conversation. 4 dudes, myself included, that I knew could have a intelligent, respectful conversation that thought differently. And man, you know, I was so happy when I left. I was so excited I forgot to get a picture of all of us.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get a picture of everybody.
Yeah.
And got all the way back to Gallatin Street and was like, dang it, I forgot to get a picture. But man, it was a moment I left and I felt proud. I was like, that was what we need more of. You know, we talk about many, and when I say men step up, men are supposed to be the leaders of their house.
That's right.
You know, and I know not every house has a man, and so it's not a knock. But just as men, we should step up and be the leaders in our community, in our houses, and set an example. And I want to start doing that once a month, man. Get a group of people together. I want that table to get bigger and bigger, or maybe have smaller tables and set it off into groups. But I think it's something people all the time, what are you doing to save Jackson? All you do is post bad stuff about Jackson. Well, there's an accountability.
Are you posting bad stuff, or are you pointing out the obvious?
I think it's pointing out the obvious, in my opinion, and it's like hold people accountable. I'm still Napoleon. Napoleon's a hashtag there, accountability. You know, it's trying to hold people accountable. And you know, I say I'm not embarrassed to admit it. Sometimes you have to shame people into doing their job right. Yeah. You know, if I'm at work and I'm screwing up, and my boss comes over there and jumps on me like, "Hey, Clay, you know what I'm gonna do? Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go do my damn job."
Absolutely.
You know, and I think sometimes we get too comfortable. You know, especially if you're in a management position and you got people under you, and maybe they're not doing their job, and maybe you're not a confrontational type manager. You know, so sometimes you got to be reminded to get on somebody. You know, or go do it yourself. Lead by example. So I just try to.
I just love people, and I don't mind people having a different view from me, because that's life. If all of us thought alike, we'd be the most boringest America in the world. You need confrontation arguments, but you don't need to argue to the fact that you get to call me. I've seen some of the stuff my own people been calling me coon, and I got a new one other. They called me a Sambo, and this is a guy I graduated with.
I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you brought it up.
But you know what? I'm not gonna add to the fire and call other people names because of what they think of me. Whatever you think of me is what you think of me. Because I'm going home to my wife. I'm going home to my kids. I'm going to get out of my bed every morning, and I'm going to go to work and make a good living for my family. That's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I'm not going to call you back no names because you call me a coon or a Uncle Tom, and you know, that's fine if that's the way you feel about me. But I'm going to say I love you. I'm going to spread love instead of trying to spread hate. So it doesn't matter what you call me.
Well, these are the people, going back to the luncheon. These are the people I want to get to the table.
Yeah.
You know, all right, cool. I mean, not to fight, not to fuss.
Yeah.
But to come and why do you feel like that? Why you want to discredit my man because he thinks different politically? You know, by going to the worst thing you can possibly say. It's like when they call me a racist. To me, that's the worst thing you can call somebody without knowing.
You don't know them.
You
know,
know,
how you gonna call somebody something you don't know? You know,
so to call you that, to me, that's they're just going to the lowest hanging fruit that they know. You know, it's like, hold on now.
You're not gonna. Let me just say this to whoever's watching. You're not gonna get me out my character. You can call me whatever you want to call me, because at the end of the day, I'm going home to my family and I gotta feed my family. That's it. So it doesn't matter what you call me. I love you still.
Absolutely, man. You know, so I want to tell one more story about race real quick, and then we'll come in and out of this.
Okay.
You told this story today, and I thought there was one that I really wanted. I thought it would hit home for a lot of people.
Okay.
You got to boot camp.
Oh yeah.
You got to boot day one.
Yeah. Day one.
You walk in.
Actually, I was out of boot camp, but I went to my unit. After you leave boot camp, do your 13 weeks of hell. Sorry, brother Chad. That's what
they call it.
Yeah. what I did was I went to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. I entered my room, and this is at the time. This is before I'm just gonna be straight up with you. You know, I'm gonna feed you straight. Yep. I didn't like white people at that time.
This is what, 91?
This is like 90.
90.
Yeah, 90. And I was pro-black. I was all into the Malcolm X, and you know, I didn't believe in the Martin Luther King way, turn the other cheek, because I was too militant for that. I get to my room, and my roommate's there, and he has a rebel flag on the wall. And I immediately went crazy, because I'm like, this dude is got. See, here we go. I'm judging him, which he was a little racist at that time.
And you were about 18, 19.
Yeah, we were 18, 19 years old. So however you brought up is the way you brought up. But I walk in and I tell him, what's up with the flag, and he was like, well, don't worry about what's on my wall. I said, well, when I put my Malcolm X poster up, if you touch it, I might hurt you real bad. So me and this guy ended up talking, learning each other, figuring out, hey, he's not that different from me, just was brought up a different way. I was brought up a different way. And me and this guy literally cried when we had to leave each other. That goes to show you right there that once you talk to somebody, you get a different perspective of them.
The military is a great equalizer.
And I think they do that on purpose. They know that when you come into the military, okay, this black guy here is from a certain place, this white guy here is from a certain place, and I'm going to put them together and see how that works.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up loving each other, because now you figuring out, this guy going to have my back in that foxhole, I'm going to have his back in that foxhole. Because let me tell you something, color don't matter when bullets are flying.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing you have to understand. Being a civilian is totally different from the military mind of a person who's been through the wars and the fights and the arguments and the toughness that the Marine Corps brings to the table. It's a totally different thing. Yeah, you still had your groups. People are still, okay, the black people are stay on this side, and the white people stay on this side. But I was always a person that tried to fit in. I wanted to listen to everybody. I wanted to get that perspective from everybody. That's how it was with the band. You knew me from the band stuff. I promoted Storage 24 in a way as an interracial band to bring people together. There was one time that our shows were strictly white. About midway of my career of music, I started seeing black people at the shows. Started seeing black people mingle with white people at the show. And I used to get on stage all the time and say, this is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah,
this is what this world's supposed to look like. Bringing people together. I don't care if your minds are different. We are different. White and black people are different. We live different. We think different. We walk different. We talk different. That's the thing about it, though. But stop being afraid to start that dialogue with each other and meet each other and understand each other.
Tupac would be proud. You just went full Pac on us.
Did I?
Right there.
I wasn't trying to go there.
No, you went full Pac on us.
I'm gonna take you through this kid, Anthony Dixon. I'm gonna take Anthony Dixon for it.
We're talking about AD from
Mississippi State.
Mississippi.
Everybody loves this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He does not meet a stranger. I look at, he probably don't even know this, but sometimes I look at his life and I'm like, I'm envy of it, because he's like, he mingles with everybody. He don't go to Mississippi State games and be like, oh, I can't hang around you because I'm from the hood and I don't like you because you're white. This guy, everybody loves Booby. Yeah. Everybody loves him because he's an open book. He's nice. People just love him. And that's how I think everybody should be, man. Look, we don't have to agree to like each other.
No.
Why does it have to even get to the point of I hate you because you don't agree with me? I don't agree with a lot of stuff white people do, and I don't agree with stuff with a lot of that black people do. I am Phred. I believe in the way I think, and I'm going to mingle with people and try to get their perspective on life. And that's what life is all about, man. Loving each other. Find love within each other. That's what it's about to me.
Man, home run. Look, mentioning Booby and AD, and they grew up with another guy. His name was Joker Boy, but last name's Poindexter.
Okay.
Good dude, man. He lives down in not San Antonio, but
somebody said Pac is still alive.
Yeah, hell he is, man. Look,
shout out to Tupac. Love Pac.
They as kids, man, as seniors in high school, the whole Dixon crew, Jory and his brother used to come to 105. Man, we always took care of them.
Yeah.
They were still going to Terry at that point. wasn't even in a. But hadn't gone to states yet, but ended up forming a relationship with those guys. And so I know what you mean about Booby. And I haven't seen him lately, but still, when I see Booby, it's on, man. He's just one of them great dudes. He's a great ambassador for the state. I don't care what. Look, to me personally, he's still a notch higher up the Mississippi State ladder than Dak. And I know everything Dak did on the field and everything.
Booby, man, look.
But I got a relationship with Booby.
I lived across the street from Booby for...
And he got us through some dark times at Mississippi State. He was the only shining light.
Absolutely. And you know, I like to... I got to tell this story, too, about Booby's mom, Velma Dixon. One of the most strongest black women you would ever meet in your life, man. To raise 4 boys by herself and to instill in them. And I'm not going to say they didn't make mistakes in life, because everybody makes mistakes in life. But that woman right there, buddy, I think those kids were more afraid of their mother than they were of the police. But it's because she was the type of mother that showed that love, but also showed that toughness. And that's what it's all about, being a parent, man. I mean, I used to, this woman I call my sister. Me and her, we went through some. Me and Stephanie went through a lot of bad times in life. Velma was always there for us. She wouldn't take sides. She would listen to both of us and tell us, look, you're wrong. Yeah. You're wrong for what you're doing, Phred. And you know, I'm a hard-headed dude, so she used to get on me the most. Velma, I'm mad at you for that, but I love you. Anyway, but she was just that type of person that will give it to you straight. And that's what you need in life. You need somebody that's not going to stroke your ego. You need somebody that's going to... When I went over there, I knew it was hard times that she's going to give me, but she's going to give it to me straight. And I thank her for that, you know.
Miss Velma would never remember me, but I went to AD's draft party. They had it in the back porch at Hallamals, and he didn't get drafted on that night. You know, it ended up being the next night or something like that. He wouldn't happen that Saturday night. He ended up not getting drafted to that Sunday. But I was at the draft party and all that. Just had a great time and met his mom and everything. So just good people, man. And I've always heard great stuff about Miss Dixon, you know. So to hear it from somebody firsthand, and I've heard that story about them boys being more scared of their mama.
Oh yeah, she don't play. Man. She didn't play. She's a wonderful woman. She's tough, but she gave it. It's that tough love that is missing with kids today. I think that's what's wrong with some of the kids today.
I'm glad you transitioned into that, because I think that's a big problem with what's going on in Jackson. Is it is more than a lack of tough love, but we'll start there. It's just I don't think people are being raised by parents anymore.
No.
You know, especially in these woefully poverty-stricken areas. You know, down in the bottom, sub 1, sub 2, Queens. Yeah. You know, these neighborhoods that I almost call like they're their own cities. They're governed by the people that live in them. You know, sure, they fall under the mayor of Jackson and JPD, but it's pretty widely understood that there's leaders within those communities that pull all the strings, and there's people that never leave those neighborhoods, man. And people like us, dude, I learned every back road from Madison to Terry and Raymond and to McGee. By the time, within a month of having a driver's license, I wanted to get as far out of South Jackson and run around everywhere I could. You know, I love it. I've got friends all over the state, especially Tri-County, Quad County area, you know everybody. But there's cats like that grow up down there, man, and they're not getting the parenting they need. Their big mama they ain't no big mamas no more. No. You know,
the big mamas are gone, man, and that's a sad thing. Look, if I can take the time out, Clay, I want to say this to I'm not white, so I'm going to speak to my people right now. I want to speak to black people right now. And this is from the heart. Now, I might tear up because I get sensitive when it comes to this stuff. We can call white people what we want to call white people. And that's fine. That's how you feel. But I'm telling you right now, until we figure out how to love one another, we're going to constantly keep hurting each other. And a lot of that has to do with slavery. It has a lot to do with the slavery mentality. We talked about this today. The slavery mentality of people thinking you have the crab in the bucket syndrome. We have to learn, as black people, to learn to respect one another. That's why we're killing each other every day. You know, if like I was telling you today, if a racist person is watching this situation that's going on in the black community, they can take a furlough. Because they can take off. They can take off from being a Klan member. They can take off from being whatever they want to be. Because we are the ones that are attacking and killing each other every day. And that needs to stop. That's got to stop, man. Jackson, if you love one another, man, once you find that love in your heart for each other, it's easy to stop killing each other. We are the ones that are killing. We're taking out our own race. You can talk about, you know, white people being racist and this and that, but white people are not killing each other every day. I'm just telling you what the news is projecting. The news is portraying that it's only black. I know it's white people kill each other. I'm not saying it is not, but I'm speaking as a black man right now. We have to find love within each other to stop killing each other. That's just the bottom line, man. And I love my people. Y'all can, you might say that Phred is, he's been in a rock band with all these white people and blah, blah, blah. You can say whatever you want to say about me, but I do love my people. And I'm telling you right now, Jackson, we got to come together and stop killing each other. We got to find love within each other. That's what I want to say to my black people today. Stop killing each other, bro. We are the one losing in this race. We only make up 13% of America anyway. Until we find that love within each other, we got to stop pulling the trigger. Find love, find a way to talk to each other. Stop having that jealousy toward each other. And that's one of the biggest problems in the black community. We're so jealous of one another. Why can't we be happy for each other? If you make $1 million, you don't need to ridicule that person and say, oh, he made that $1 million because he's a drug dealer. Why can't you just be happy for that person? And I'm speaking to my black people. I can't speak for white people. I'm not white. I'm proud to be black. I love my beautiful skin. And I'm telling you right now, until we learn to love each other, we will never be able to even cross that railroad track and start loving and talking to other people until we find that love between each other.
Amen, brother. Amen. And I don't want to speak on me personally. Like you said, you're black.
Yeah.
You've been there. No pun intended. You started at the bottom.
Yep.
And what I can say as a white dude in the city that truly cares.
Clay Matthews said, "I love you, Phred, but I hate the shirt."
Oh yeah, Chip.
Yeah.
He's been getting called Clay Matthews for 100 years.
Yeah, I know.
And I've been called.
What's up, Chip? Love you, man.
And so have I. I mean, it's like when we're around, they get Clay and Chip, and they just flip it.
Yeah. Shout out to Boo, man. I see you on here, dog. That's my nephew.
I saw that. So as a white dude in Jackson, and the more I get into attempting to make a difference, like trying to see what's really going on and breaking the stereotype in my mind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And trying to have tough conversations with people. Something I can tell white people, like seriously, and we get a lot of nasty comments in our comment section, just like any other news outlet, and I can't control all that. I can only control what I say. I'm not going to babysit the comments. But with that said, I would ask white folks to take a deep breath and look at this from a much different perspective than black thugs just killing each other. Because it's not what it is. And even if it looks like that, and I get it. I get why people would say that, in certain areas. But I'm telling y'all, man, it is so much going on that you don't see. Imagine being born into this world a lot of times with nothing. With nobody.
Yep.
I mean, you got so many of these kids in these poverty-stricken areas.
Preach.
That just the mama's out doing something. This ain't just black, but for the sake of talking about Jackson, the kids, the old saying, it takes a village to raise a kid.
Absolutely.
There's literally a village raising these kids with no love, and it's just like the second they're old enough to run around for themselves and put their pants on, and whatnot. You got 9-year-olds running around looking up to 13-year-olds breaking in cars and stuff.
Yeah.
While we were eating, right after I got home from us eating lunch, I got a notification on my phone. 2-year-old baby girl, I think it was a girl, 2-year-old child, shot playing outside in a drive-by shooting. She's not dead yet, but in critical condition. We've had 2 children. Two that have passed. 2 children in Mississippi this year, under the age of 11. That got killed in their sleep during a drive-by shooting in Jackson, Mississippi. Do you know how many COVID deaths under the age of 18 we've had in the whole state? 1. And could you imagine if we put the resources into the urban communities, these high-risk communities, for violence intervention, more policing, stuff of that nature, that we have put into COVID? Man.
Just speaking of COVID, though, isn't the flu a virus?
The flu is a
virus. Okay, but
COVID killed the flu.
Yeah, but we're gonna get.
It's down 98%.
I don't think it doesn't matter who is president. You cannot stop a virus. Period. I don't care if you shut the country down. We're wearing our masks. People are still getting COVID.
Yeah.
So you can't say that. oh, if you wear your mask, you won't get COVID. Let me just say this, because people are sensitive. So I got to say this. We are born to die.
Absolutely. We're not guaranteed.
There ain't nothing going to guarantee that we're going to stay alive. When Jesus calls you, it's over with. I don't know why people think in their minds that, oh, I don't want to die from COVID. Have you ever walked through a graveyard and looked on a tombstone and actually saw how a person died? Huh. It does not say that on their tombstone.
COD
so
dead
is dead.
Yeah. When you were born, your death was already
planned.
Already planned. Mm-hmm. If you were supposed to die from COVID, you were born gonna die from COVID. You know, I don't believe in running and jumping off a building and doing certain things. You know, it ain't the dying part I'm worried about.
That's called stupidity.
Yeah, it ain't the dying part I'm worried about. Yeah. It's the getting hurt and not dying part I'm worried about. It's like, oh, if this ain't how I'm supposed to go, this is gonna suck.
It ain't gonna say how you're gonna go because it's already planned out.
If you hit that ground and you don't die, you are in a bad world of hurt. You know, but you know, so I'm glad we're going on this. So there's been this new thing running around the last week or so, and it started with some liberal journalists, and they said that this, and then Dr. Dobbs, our state health official, has backed this up, or he has co-signed on it, which I think is terrible. Saying that the current rise in COVID in Mississippi, the spikes, are due to, and I quote, reckless white people not wearing masks. So I have to ask.
Well, we put race on everything, though.
We got to, man, like mayonnaise on a tomato sandwich, you know. And look, man,
oh my God,
believe it or not, I hate talking about race. But I think somebody's got to have these damn conversations because you can't keep brushing it under the rug. And
we are so afraid to have these kind of conversations, man. It's crazy. Look, everybody, every black person, every white person has said things behind closed doors that they wouldn't say out in public. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We all have.
Anybody who says different's lying.
They lying. They lie. Have I not said honky behind closed doors? Absolutely. I said in public, to people's face. So I know the word nigga has been said in a white person's household.
Sure.
We are human. We say things, but like my mom used to say, just don't say it to people's face. Don't say it out in public. We all have said stuff we're not proud of, man. I know I have.
So I'm glad you jumped there, but I'm going to pull it back just a little bit, and then we're going to pick back up there.
Okay.
Talking about the COVID and the reckless white people. Mm-hmm. So white people now are getting it, or spreading it because they're reckless and not wearing masks. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, for 3 or 4 months since March, all we heard about was how the African American community was more prone to get COVID. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mario. What's up, Brown Bottom? I see you, baby.
I work with Mario.
Mario Butler, my guy.
So I never once heard reckless African Americans not wearing masks spreading COVID. Mm-hmm. But disproportionately, there were a lot more African Americans with COVID. Mm-hmm. Now, and I'm only making this point because this is me explaining to y'all that the media is trying to make us pit us against each other.
Exactly.
This is not about black or white. This is about the media pitting us against each other, trying to say evil white people spreading COVID to their minority counterparts. Mm-hmm. But we never heard evil black people spreading COVID. But they're bouncing it on the summer of hate that has happened, and all that. And I'm just like, man, so I'm gonna talk about that. You know, like, hold on now. That's not fair, and it's reckless, and it's dangerous. In a state like Mississippi, that is a powder keg anyway, of racial history and violence and everything. I was so proud. I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite here because I'm talking about one thing, then I'm transition to the other here. But I was so damn proud of the way the city reacted in the George Floyd stuff. There was riots everywhere.
Except Mississippi.
And then there was the BLM march down, which we supported, by the way. You know, it ain't my cup of tea, but I supported what they were doing. You know, and because I support protest. Love it. And nothing violent, nothing crazy, nothing bad. I didn't go because I work on Saturdays, but it was a shining example of how you can protest and get your point across within community. My only gripe about those protests was our medical community. Again, it keeps coming back to the medical community, painting everything white people do in this COVID stuff is bad and evil. So all the white coats at UMC, they go down and they take the knee to BLM the weekend of the protest.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks prior to that, they had we got to get back to where Open Mississippi Back Up protest, the rallies. Well, that was all painted as a conservative thing, and that, oh my God, this is the most dangerous thing in the world. We can't be doing this. And one of the doctors even said that we can justify the protest for the racial inequality, but we can't justify them for not losing our jobs and houses and getting back to work and all that. And I mean, I thought it's painful. I will never forgive our quote unquote state medical professionals for that. They took a very sensitive issue in the state, and they trying to paint one demographic as evil and dubious.
Yep.
By the other. I mean, you mean to tell me that COVID didn't spread at all during the BLM stuff?
It had to.
I mean,
a lot of people out without masks. Some of them had on masks, some didn't.
And I'm not saying that it didn't spread at the reopen Mississippi protest. I mean, you'd be an idiot to say it didn't. Just like you'd be an idiot to say it didn't spread at the BLM protest. It's like, we don't know where these spikes came from. African Americans must just be more genetically predisposed to getting COVID. I'm like, no, people are on top of each other at a protest, living in multi-generational households. There's all kind of stuff, but genetically predisposed ain't one of them. In Mississippi, and me and Crystal talked about this. Crystal's been in the nursing field for 10 years, my wife. And as Mississippians, we are genetically probably more predisposed due to our unhealthy habits.
Yeah.
Obesity, diabetes. I mean, you told me, is it okay for me to talk about your diabetic? I said it out loud. I'm asking on live video. So Phred is a diabetic.
Yeah.
You came in and sat down. You had your mask on to damn near it was time to eat today.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you were diabetic until today.
Yeah.
So you are genetically predisposed as a diabetic to if you get COVID, it could potentially hit you harder than say me.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. I'm just not a diabetic. And as far as I know, I don't have any cardiovascular issues.
Yeah, mine is contained I'm good. I don't take any shots and none of that. Never have.
So I'm just a fan of personal responsibility. If you know you're at a high risk, be responsible. Wear your mask.
Yeah.
Don't go to public functions. Live your life to where you feel safe. If I see somebody wearing their mask, I'm not busting their chops for it. I may not wear mine, but I'm trying my best to be a good neighbor, a good citizen, a good fellow Mississippian. I mean, I went in Kroger today in Byram, and there's not a mask mandate out here. I wore my mask. I'm trying. It is hard because I'm a don't tell me what to do guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm trying not to be.
Too.
I'm trying not to be
like that too.
So hard headed.
Yeah.
Because I want to be respectful to my neighbors, and
I just hate wearing those things.
Me too.
I really do. But
I mean, I'm as anti-mask as it gets, but I'm trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
And if I can get in and out of somewhere easier with the damn mask on, but then there's that point where I feel like that's where they get you. That's where they get you to conform. I know I'm bouncing around here a little bit, but
no, that's good. That's good conversation.
But I just the bringing up race for COVID, I just think it's way out of bounds.
Absolutely. For
our medical professionals and our media to do, and we need anything else as black and white people in Mississippi. And I hate to just make Mississippi like it's all black and white. We've got a lot of Latinos here.
Yeah.
We have a large Asian community. And the only reason I don't talk about them is just because I don't have a whole lot of interaction with them on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I know you're there.
Nothing against them.
Nothing against you. Yeah, I know you're there. Much love.
Comments good.
And that's all I got to say about that. There's not a
bad.
We don't have quite the sordid history with you guys as we do with ourselves.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I understand the whole World War II and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we've got some struggles that as black and white Mississippians we battle with every day, and a lot of it is us not being able to get out of our own way. You mentioned
a lot of it is just judgment right off the bat. I mean, it's just it's just judgment, right? As soon as you see somebody, you are automatically judging. I think that's just the human side of us that we judge about a lot of things. Just walking every day. You just like you said, people watching.
Yeah.
You judge people for it.
And I'm gonna tell you one of the things, we report a lot of the crime and stuff, but what you're not gonna see me do, and I've evolved. What you're not gonna see me do is in the comments talk negatively about someone or a situation where somebody died. You know, I'm not gonna pigeonhole them. Thugs, better off. Da 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 da. You know, and you see that. Like, I'm not gonna mention a news channel by name, but if you get on one of these news channels, or even some of the Save Jackson posts where we share it, you know, it's just some of the nasty stuff coming back and forth from both sides. You know, it's just, man. Would you say, I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, if I won't say it to your face in real life, I'm not going to say it online.
Yeah.
You know, like I got to argue.
We got a lot of email thugs, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Look, so I posted a picture of a syringe needle sitting beside a garbage can on in front of City Hall yesterday. And I got some backlash for it. Like, oh, you just why would you post that instead of pick it up? Well, first of all, somebody sent me the picture. I wasn't there. But I'm not going to pick up a syringe needle and throw it in the garbage anyway. Like, yeah, that sucks. You know? But I posted to let you know this is what I got going on in parts of Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, sticking our head in the sand and pretending it's not happening isn't making it better.
Yeah.
You know? So a guy kind of called me out on it. He's like, you know, what are you doing? What's your plan? Da-da-da-da. So I switched over from the Save Jackson profile to my personal.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure we were talking man to man, not
with everybody.
Weird profile to profile. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we ended up talking. Then we took it to the inbox and to a text message. But we went from arguing to what can we do to help each other out? Here's my number.
That's it. That's
you know,
there again. That's what I'm talking about right there. It's like you have to get to know each other. People can say stuff about each other without knowing them. You know, it's either because I honestly I think social media has made us all cowards, and all of us are guilty of just posting something. And it goes out to the world, and everybody gets to, you know, throw their opinion on it. But it's made us all cowards, man. You know, social media has put it even when it comes to dating.
Oh yeah,
people are so lazy that they actually won't even go out and actually meet another human being.
Swipe left, swipe right.
They just rather that. Oh, she's hot, or he's hot, or we're gonna click here and let's just see how. You don't even know if you meet a rapist or a killer because you don't have that dialogue, that face-to-face dialogue to say, okay, now I can make my own judgment of this guy or this girl by sitting there with them. Now, anybody can make a fake profile, put up anything, they say all nice things about themselves.
People get catfished all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. You know, you talk about making us all weaker with social media. You know, so and I think that's what's brought about cancel culture. Because you've got a bunch of people.
Now we getting good.
You got a bunch of people who have never been punched in the face.
Absolutely.
And they know they couldn't take a lick to the face. I don't want to get punched in the face, but trust me when I tell you, this beautiful face has been punched several times because of this mouth. And, you know, so I understand the consequences and repercussions of the things that come out of my mouth, whether it's my keyboard fingers or my mouth.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of cats that know they ain't got no interest in rolling with nobody.
Oh, no.
So they're like, well, how can I hurt this person? Their words hurt me. How can I hurt them? I can't physically hurt them. Oh, well, let me cancel them. Let me call their job. You know what I mean? Let me get them fired.
Yeah, but
I think that was a big part of creating cancel culture.
Yeah, but to me, that's so coward, though, man.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
When you stoop to that level of calling somebody out of their name that you've never met, and all you going by is on they posting something. You're judging them by what they post, and then you want to call someone's job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I played you the voicemail today.
Yeah, that's my Marine Corps kicking in. Like, I'm gonna hunt you down and find you.
Yeah, you know, and y'all got to experience my stalker.
Yeah,
on your Facebook page yesterday. I mean, it's funny until it ain't. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! Hey, I will say this though. The dude put out he put a thing out about me called. He said what he called the coon train. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. I love you, brother. Hey, whatever. Yeah. That was brilliant.
Yeah, I'm sure he's ridden a train or two.
Oh wow. Okay. Woo! You know, boy, it's getting deep. It's getting deep in the mud. No pun intended.
All right. So let's get this thing back between the lines. One of the things. Hey, you just can't put that out there and not expect me to laugh.
I know. That's a good one.
I gotta slide it.
Yeah.
Slide it in. And if you've seen the guy, y'all know what we were talking about. Some of y'all know.
It's mad funny.
Some of y'all know.
Funny.
All right. when do you think you became a conservative? Like, do you know the moment where you said, were you ever a Democrat?
I think early in my years, yes. Yeah, I think I was, because I think...
Did you ever vote for a Democrat president?
I voted for Obama the first time.
First time?
Mm-hmm. I used to like to vote who I thought would be the best president.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was on either side at that time. I like to say that I'm a conservative. I have more conservative thinking. But I try to vote for whoever I think will be the best president. And at the time, I don't know who Obama ran with against the first time.
Wasn't it McCain?
Was it? Yeah.
McCain.
I just thought of, and let's just be honest. I voted for Obama because Obama was black. That's just the truth. The first time, and didn't have no clue of his policies. It was just the fact that, okay, he's black. But then you got to ask yourself this: his mother is white.
Yeah.
So did we actually vote for the first black president or the first mixed president?
Well, I mean, I think if you're being realistic, it was probably the first mixed. But I'll never tell a mixed person that whoever they want to pick, whatever side of the family they want to claim it. But I'm with you. I if we're being genetically honest, I don't know that he was the first black president, but that's another story for another day. I think there's plenty of people who can make the argument for either side of that.
Okay.
Then you got the birther controversy.
All right, let's say this: people are voting for Joe Biden, and I get it. That's your guy. That's your guy. But his policies does not match up with my life. Does that make any sense?
No.
Okay, abortion. I'm a Christian man. I don't believe in abortion. I think that, to me, that's murder.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you try to paint it, it's a woman's choice. Yeah, but okay, I don't think there's one woman on this planet that has had an abortion and still living her life without even thinking about that. That is something that you would never get over.
Well, that is something that you would never... Under the guise of healthcare.
Yeah, but you would you might have a drunk night and you sleep with this guy, and you get pregnant, and that's what they call an unexpected pregnancy, right? Well, it's not unexpected if you already know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You know if he's wearing a condom or not. It's not unexpected. Okay, I don't believe in you waking up the next morning and saying to myself, oh man, what if I'm pregnant, or however long it takes. I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But I don't think no one has that choice to kill a baby. For those reasons alone, I cannot vote Democrat.
Yeah, and I think the one argument that they make on abortion that I can kind of understand the argument, but I can't never back it up because I'm 100% pro-life. Is like when they say it's they were raped and got pregnant and don't want to follow through with that.
Yeah,
I get that.
I can get that part.
I can get that at a core level, but you know what, man, it's a tough situation.
It's a tough situation because
I'm not a woman, but there's adoption. Mm-hmm. That's God's. It sounds terrible. That's God's will, and maybe that's the next president. Mm-hmm. You don't know, but I'm pro-life, and I'm gonna ride that. I'm gonna ride that down. But I am sympathetic to that stuff. Mm-hmm. If you find out that the child is a high risk, mm-hmm. but look, there's the old story. Tim Tebow is supposed to be a high risk, child, mm-hmm. pregnancy, and damn Tim Tebow,
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
There's stories about
if his mom would have killed him. Wow.
There's stories about
wouldn't have been a good Tebow story.
The doctors, and I may have my quote a little off here. Somebody can correct me, but there's stories about the family doctors recommended them have an abortion, because it was such a high risk pregnancy, and Tim turned out all right. Mm-hmm.
He turned out great.
So you just don't know, that it's God's will, and you may not always understand it at the time. So. But yeah, I'm with you. And we talked about this today at lunch about, I told you, if I was a racist, I would vote for Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. Supports basically what's the equivalent of genocide in the African American communities or Planned Parenthood.
Absolutely.
Supports putting more and more African American men in prison.
Absolutely.
Same with Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. And just all these things, just these boxes that check off, mm-hmm. Says a lot of really racist things.
To me, it does.
Mm-hmm. Like if I'm a racist, I'm like, man, this guy, like you said, hey, if you're a racist, you can sit this one out. We're doing it ourselves. Yeah. Like that's how I feel about about Biden. Like, man, if I was a racist, well, I would just sit back and be like, just keep it up, guys.
Yeah.
Vote for Biden.
Yeah.
Everything's going exactly as planned.
Yeah.
You know, I just, absolutely we're going to defund the police. Because less police in the most high crime violent areas. It's probably going to equal to more murder in those areas. You know, like I heard our mayor of Jackson yesterday on a talk show last night, a Facebook Live, and he constantly brings up police can't prevent crime; they're only involved after crime. I'm like, that's a damn lie. You know, if I know, and I'm taught at an early age that there's consequences and repercussions, and that if I do anything, there's such a heavy police presence, I don't want to break in that car. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to jail. Community policing. There are plenty of things that police do in crime prevention. They're not just reaction. You know, so I'm just saying that when you defund the police, you're putting African Americans.
You're asking for trouble. First of all,
you're putting
first of all, who you can say defund the police, but as soon as something happens, you call the police.
Oh,
I mean that makes no sense.
Look at all those protests and rallies where people were there. They were defund the police, BLM rallies, Antifa rallies, whatever. And the second something happened to one of the most sissies, they were like, "Call the cops! Call the cops!" Like, hold on now.
Did you just say sissy?
But the police mentality is that even though you're there to protest them, they're jumping in for you.
Yeah.
Look, I get there's a bad cop here and there. There's bad truck drivers. There's bad people. There's bad nurses. There's bad doctors. Eddie Wright posted a podcast that he's been listening to, and Dr. Death, I think, is the name of it. And it's about a doctor that killed 37 or 38 people that he was working on.
Wow.
And paralyzed his best friend. That terrible of a doctor. I've been meaning to go back and start watching it. So I'm guaranteeing you there's not a single cop out there that's killed 38 people. But there's probably not a police force too many outside of major cities that in their entire history are responsible for 38 deaths. But I don't see, there was no riots in the street to protest this evil doctor. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying that there's bad people everywhere. You can't judge an incident, or even a couple singular incidents. Social media takes those negative incidents and the algorithms and all that know that police violence videos do very well in the algorithm. They get shared a bunch. They trigger emotions in us. Either one side is saying should have obeyed. The other side is saying they killed an innocent person.
Yeah.
There's never an in between of, well, let me see how this plays out, And it's just something here lately. The last couple of incidents we've had, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor.
Rest in peace.
I didn't comment on those for a while because I didn't want to be that guy. They just went to the generic reaction. I said, let me do my research right. Let's see, let more video come out. Let's see. George Floyd didn't require much video. You saw that.
Oh, that's just evil, man. That's
and I've heard people make the
George
argument.
Floyd did not have to die like that.
They made the argument that, well, he was high. He was this. Man, I don't care about any of that.
That guy was wrong. Period.
He was. He put himself in a bad situation, but it still should have never been handled like that. To Breonna Taylor, the more you dig into that, again, bad situation. She shouldn't have put herself in that situation, but it also shouldn't have been handled like that. Yeah. But then again, I don't know what you do. Without going too deep into it, I mean, the current boyfriend is shooting out the door at the police. They're shooting back in. No different than that 2-year-old.
Somebody's subject to get hit.
One of these folks are subject to land a bullet. Like the 2-year-old getting shot today in a drive-by. I'm sure the 2-year-old wasn't the target.
No.
Cause I'm betting the person
that's senseless murder, man. That's just. Oh my God.
So, but people dig their heels in, and it's typically down racial lines. Well, I'm white, conservative. I have to be pro-cop. I'm black, Democrat. I have to be
against the cop.
And then there's cats like you in the middle. Black, conservative. I say in the middle, but just they don't fit. You ain't white, and you're not a Democrat. So how do you see stuff like that? What is your initial reaction? I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I want a third opinion on this.
My opinion about the Breonna Taylor.
Well, we'll use those two as an example. I mean, Where do you stand on that?
Well, first of all, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor.
Absolutely.
If I'm a cop and somebody is shooting at me or making a shot toward me, of course I'm going to react the way that the cops reacted. You know, I don't think they didn't know Breonna Taylor was in the house. They just shooting because somebody's shooting at them. So they're just reacting to what's going on. So I mean, that's a natural thing.
And if you live in the hood and somebody beats on the door and hollering police, you don't know that that's really police. I mean, you're in a different world.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, hood rules are different from regular rules.
It's like, oh, no, they said police. All's good. It's the police.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, especially with all the backstory of the ex-boyfriend and the drug dealing and all that stuff. You know, they thought it was, my understanding is they thought it was the ex-boyfriend coming. You know,
he did. Yeah, the guy that was shooting up the boyfriend. Yeah, he thought it was.
So, and this ain't gonna be a Breonna Taylor expose here, but I'm just curious. You know, what a conservative African American thinks when you see that. Do you just take that out of it? Is it just a human being?
I just think it was it's just a terrible situation. Period.
Yeah, because
you're never gonna get people to understand the shoes of a cop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this, and I will say this to my people again. I've been pulled over by the cops several times, and most of them was my fault because I'm speeding. All of them was my fault because I was speeding, and they were white cops. I've never engaged in a altercation with a cop because I'm gonna do exactly what I'm told.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm not saying that I'm rich, but I got money to fight any situation when it comes to, you know, getting an attorney and all that.
Swallow your pride and deal with it in court.
If you're not guilty of anything, why engage into a conversation with a person who has a gun, who has a taser, and has pepper spray, which you don't want to get sprayed by that stuff, period. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, even if you are guilty, live to fight another day.
Absolutely. That's what I'm basically saying. My main priority, and anybody's main priority as a black man, as a black woman, your main priority is to get home to your family.
Yeah.
That should be anybody. I don't care white or black. Your main priority is to get home to your family. I don't engage with those kind of conversations with the cops. I do what I'm told because I'm not, it's not that bad of a situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to, you know, when the cops pull me over, I'm going to cooperate what he tells me to do.
Yeah. You know, so when me and Napoleon were doing our show with the Cypher Voice, this was the George Floyd thing had just happened. And then the situation with the guy in Atlanta. So these conversations were hot over the summer, you know. And, you know, Napoleon was saying, he's like black men, women, you've got to teach your kids how to get home. And I'm like, look, this ain't just a black thing. It's white, too.
It's white people get killed by the cops.
You know, actually, more whites get killed by cops, but at a higher per capita blacks do. You know, but if you just look at the numbers, there's more white people get killed by cops. Statistically. You know, but I tell people, like, man, look, I'm a very prideful person. Nothing I hate worse than some other man talking down to me, telling me what to do. You know, I'm like, but man, when you're in that situation with that cop, he's in control.
Absolutely.
This is the country we live in. These are the rules set forth. You've got to know that. You got to take this narrative.
And let's say this too. There are bad cops, but there's bad cops, black and white bad cops.
Yeah. Because
I've encountered some.
Man, look,
some.
There's plenty. I've been on both sides.
Yeah.
93, 94. I mean, there's been multiple times. I'm just going to use this one incident. Mid-90s, driving through Byram, my truck would backfire at will. Pop. You and just to mess with friends. You know, growing up in the Byram, South Jackson.
Yeah.
You just mess with folks. Man, somebody said I pulled a drive-by. Cops pulled me over, snatched me out of my truck, got guns to my head, foot on the back of my neck, broke my hair and bone. You know, I thought I was going to die right there at the entrance to Lake Dockery on Sidewell Road.
That right there, that herringbone, what you just said, proves that you ain't a racist.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard no white person even wearing a herringbone.
And I was in my lowrider with a white and purple fade paint job. You know, so Real talk. You know, I get that from my buddy Benji Randall growing up. Man, he was a big herringbone wearer. We those South Jackson dudes, man. We thought we were thugs, man. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, we did. We were doing a lot of thuggish things. So I mean, I would say we were thugs. You know.
Yeah.
We wanted to be anyway. We tried our hardest. Until you start having to deal with the consequences, the repercussions of doing thug stuff.
Yeah.
Like having guns on your head, face down. You know but that scared the death out in me.
Yeah.
I mean, it did. And it was at that moment that I realized I came that close. Mm-hmm. One false move. Dead. You know, to amplify the situation, I had really dark tinted windows on my truck. Wow. 5%.
So he's already mad.
Being a janky South Jackson lowrider, my window, I had my door panels off doing work for stereo system, so I couldn't roll my window down, and I couldn't open. No, what was it? I had to roll my window down to open my door from the outside. I couldn't open it from the inside. That man, by the time that thing got over, they had me snatched out of there so quick. Wow, man, just scary situation. So I learned there to keep my damn mouth shut. Now I had other negative situations for cops, but I learned at the end of the day, Phred, when I quit being an F up, and I quit doing stuff for cops to mess with me, guess what happened? Cops quit messing with me. Yeah. You know, and look, man, I'm telling you, growing up in South Jackson in the 90s and 2000s, man, they mess with us just as much as they do black folks anywhere else. Yeah. I got been pulled over. I've been pulled over hundreds of times.
Are you killing mosquitoes by
Yeah, I thought I saw one behind you there. Pulled over hundreds of times.
We're live, sir.
Yeah. Live without a net. Yeah. You know? And so I get it. I really do. So, I mean, sure, am I living that lifestyle now? No, absolutely not. You know, but I get the frustration with people and the intimidation that you feel when you get pulled over. And, you know, and it can be emasculating. Yeah. You know? Absolutely. When a cop's telling you what to do and you got to bite your tongue. But you got to do that. You can't go into it acting the way people do that you don't become a hashtag.
Is that the popular thing now? Hashtag?
Bail is cheaper than a funeral.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't.
A lot of heartaches and tears too.
I wished that they would, if it is such the epidemic that people claim it is, cops killing people. Yeah. Then we should teach in school how to handle a traffic stop. Absolutely. And we should be doing that anyway. You know, and I've actually talked with some people about getting a group together on a Saturday or a Sunday, and maybe some retired cops or some current cops if they're allowed to do it, and showing people how to deal with different aspects of a traffic stop. You know, and showing people what the cop sees. You know, it goes back to lack of communication, lack of training, lack of life skills when you never leave your neighborhood. You know, so I don't know, man. That's just that it's something that could get us a long way if we knew how to deal with, or if the people that have the biggest problem with cops knew how to communicate with cops.
I just think that as human beings, man, we just need to learn how to communicate with each other. I honestly think there's black people and there's white people that are afraid to even engage with each other. But hey, you just might like each other. You just never know. And you know, I have a lot of white friends. I have a lot of black friends. I mean, I don't look at friends and go, oh, well, I can't hang out with you because you're a certain color. I just like people, man. I'm all about people. I just like being around people. I like talking to people. And, you know, I'm a social butterfly. Like I said, I just like to enjoy conversations with people. And I love the different backgrounds that we come from. That's what engaging is all about. You know, I got a lot of friends that hunt. I buy all my food at Kroger. I mean, I'm just not going to be out in the woods hunting for squirrels and stuff like that. Yeah. That's redneck stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what rednecks do. They like to hunt, fish, and that's not a racist thing. Rednecks are not... I don't know why people categorize rednecks with racism.
the black Democrat that ate lunch with us today...
Oh, yeah.
is going to hunt and fish.
Yes.
And has killed more deer.
I called him a redneck sitting at the table. And he's black.
You know, it's just the way it is, man. You know, we get like redneck is not it's been used as a racist, a white racist term, or a racist term towards white people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like thug is used as a racist term towards black people. When people don't want to, like, thug is the new N-word. Yeah, it's like the one that white people think they can slide in low key, and it's like, well, that's kind of me saying. That's what I see on social media. You know, it's easy to call it out, and same with redneck, and there's other stuff, and it's just like I can't even say white trash on Facebook. Like, type it out, Facebook deletes my post. You know, but let's see, man. We got some comments here.
Oh boy.
There's a lady that was saying something. If she's still on here, I want to see what she's.
Anybody call me coon yet? Damn.
Valerie Brown, you said never going to get the truth. What are we talking about there? Fill me in.
I think she's talking about you're never going to get the truth on the Breonna Taylor situation.
Okay,
you're never going to get the full
story. Is that what we're
talking
the Breonna Taylor?
Yeah. It's just a tough situation. There's nothing really. My hearts go out to her family, man. But it's just, you know, sometimes you put yourself in situations where it's not a good situation.
No, it's not. And I mean, you know, they gave that family $12 million to basically try to buy some peace in Louisville because they knew what was about to happen.
This guy right here.
Oh man, he's wild, dude.
He said, "Which race likes barbecue?"
He likes his barbecue.
Like it, both, I guess.
Yeah, we love some barbecue.
I love barbecue.
Let's see. JC says, "Great interview, man. We appreciate it. We're just two friends, man. And look, I tell y'all all the time, I'm not a professional interviewer. I'm not a professional interviewer.
This is what I want you. This is what I want people to do during their weeks and their days. Just engage with the opposite race.
Yeah.
Just engage. Just start up a conversation. White people talk to black people. Black people talk to white people. Asian people talk to whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody just have a conversation with each other, and see, don't you like each other? Because I'm telling you,
crazy.
You will like each other because we are different, but there's a lot of similarities to each other.
Yeah, you know, I look at it like this, man. We're from Mississippi.
Absolutely.
We need to be a unified front because we already suffer from lack of everything, lasting everything.
Yep.
You know, but we the nicest people in the world, black, white, it don't matter, man. Before all this politics stuff, before we all got so involved in this, man, this crap used to never come up. You know what I find what I find where a lot of people are genuine is when you at concerts, music brings everybody together. Music and food.
Music, food, and football games. Yeah. And you engage at football games with people. Look, it's people giving each other high five, don't even know each other. You know what I'm saying? Because
I brought this up the other day. Same thing.
It's the excitement that you get from a football game. Like, it's half the people I see at state games, I don't know none of them.
I don't turn to that guy before I give him a high five. I'm like, are you a Republican? You know? I mean,
what's your political beliefs before I give you a high five?
And the only political belief I get right there is that maroon and white shirt.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. But stop judging people by their color or, stop. Just enjoy life. Life is about enjoying yourself, man. Especially if you're a Christian person, you got God in your life, you're happy about your achievements in life. That's what it's all about. Get out the bed with a positive attitude. Stop getting out the bed and already, before you even put your feet on the ground, something negative. Let me get on Facebook and post something negative or see what's negative. Find some positivity in your life. Man, look, I have the best time with my friends, especially crawfish season.
I was going to bring that up.
Buddy.
Phred told me at lunch today, or he told all of us at lunch today, he said, some people are going to get on there and they're going to worry about all this stuff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make me some crawfish and not worry about it.
That's it. I mean, when me and Steph, when crawfish season, my baby, hey, it's crawfish season, baby. We got to go get us some crawfish. You got to learn to enjoy life, man. And Velma, I know you like those crab legs. I ain't eating that crab, but still, you look happy while you're eating them.
My wife loves crab legs.
I can't stand it.
She was having a rough day the other day, and I stopped by Tebow's.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they got
Tebow's. I stopped by Tebow's on 80, and I was like, man, let me get... I way overdid it. Way overdid it. Well, we finished it up last night, though. I mean, we got 2 or 3 meals out of it, but she got the crab legs. I got a bunch of boiled shrimp. And she'll peel me the crab legs and give them to me. And I'll eat them, but I'm just going to... I love the shrimp. And crawfish, obviously.
I love crawfish, man.
Yeah, man, I'm going to tell you, community eating, like crawfish, not like going to sit down at a regular restaurant, standing around a table or whatever, eating crawfish with just whoever.
And talking, having a conversation.
Community eating is what I was telling Crystal the other night we were eating. I said, man, sometimes I love to have this meal like this where we're just standing up across from each other. We're working, we're moving our hands, we're eating, we're having fun. It's the best conversation.
Now this is funny, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Had I not had white friends, I would have never discovered crawfish.
I hear that a lot.
I never would have ate crawfish because that's how I ended up eating crawfish, because my buddy was like, man, we going to after a show.
Yeah.
Had a rock show. One of my friends was like, look, man, you ever had crawfish? I was like, no, man, I never had no crawfish like that. And man, been crazy about them ever since then.
You don't see too many crawfish stands in majority black areas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just...
And now you see a lot of white people eating a lot of crawfish, and I love to see that, man. I love to see that.
Yep. You know, like I go out to the crawfish shack or wherever, and man, they're a great mixed. That's the problem. You were talking about your rock shows earlier when when they started getting mixed. That was your proudest moments. When I was in the club business, when I was able to get that crowd mixed, it was my proudest moments. It was like we did it. Not that I cared if the crowd was all white or all black. Hell, I owned a 99.9% black club longer than I owned a majority white club.
Yeah, but my wife
got it mixed, man. It was a party.
My wife have seen me live in concert on stage, and I would stop the song and say, "This is what America is all about." Mm-hmm. You see how we all in here mingling with each other, laughing, having a good time, and listening to good music. This is what I love to see. Yeah, mixture of a crowd, black and white mingling together. Nobody's having no animosity toward each other. It's just a music show and everybody having a great time. That's what life's all about, man. We got to get back to that, because I'm gonna tell you right now, this politics stuff have separated us so bad that we can't even conversate with each other. It's pathetic. It's sad that we are letting Democrat and Republican stuff break us up. I don't listen to me, people. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're independent. Whatever your political beliefs are, that's what you believe in. That doesn't stop us from being friends. Yeah. Why should that stop us from being friends? You have a different opinion from me. That's fine. Agree to disagree and move forward.
Yeah. Look, it's no secret I am a big supporter of Trump. Mm-hmm. But he is a 70-year-old billionaire from New York. We ain't got much in common. Joe Biden, worth millions and millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Old white dude from Delaware. He ain't got much in common with the African American in the country. But we hitch our wagons to these guys, whoever it is this time around, next time around, and we let like that be.
We'll be right back here 4 years from now.
Yeah, and it'll be two brand new candidates. Yep. And we're all going to act like our life depends on who they are. Nope. And there's nothing I don't know. I say there's nothing we can do about it. I just don't know what there is to do about it because we get so caught up. But I think after, assuming Trump wins, I think there's going to be a real reckoning within the media community. I think everything's just kind of in this free fall mode right now. But if Trump wins, there's going to be because it ain't Trump versus Biden. It's Trump versus the media. Yep. Biden's hiding in his basement, not doing anything. He's put a lid on the campaign. Yep. Unheard of with 9 days left, a week left in a campaign, to go hide. I mean, the media is doing all this work for him. If Trump beats them, it's going to be a reckoning. I don't know how news media, as we know it, survives. And then if Biden wins, what the hell are they going to bitch about?
Ain't nothing to.
I mean,
ain't nothing to bitch.
All they've talked about for the last 5 years is Orange Man bad. If Biden wins, what are you tuning in to watch anymore? Because you just got a bunch of Trump haters tuning in to CNN. Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of Trump lovers tuning in to Fox to see everything. And so I'm curious what's going to happen.
Can I say hello to somebody?
Absolutely.
Ethan and Dalton, go to bed. Go to bed.
Oh, bad.
Love you guys, man.
Bad habit with this. It's easy to look at this, but that's the camera.
Oh,
I know I'm the world's worst, and I try to break the habit because I see myself down here, but I forget that the camera's over there.
Shout out to my sister Vicky if you're listening. Mm-hmm. Love you, baby.
While we're giving shout outs, I know my daughter. I don't even know if she still watches. Kylie, I love you. I know Crystal's in there watching. Crystal, I love you.
Chloe, Hayden, I know y'all still up.
Yep, everybody. Kylie, Peyton, the whole 9 yards. Mom.
We got to do this more often, man. This is a good conversation.
It is. And this is our first one.
Yep.
So even though we've known each other for 20 years, you still got to have that icebreaker. And when I have friends over, I don't really do notes. because I want to trust on our
let's just have
our
a conversation.
foundation of friendship to just do this. And we're having to talk loud because we're doing a one mic thing.
Yeah.
But this will evolve, and there will be 2 mics, and it won't be as.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I want to just thank you for it. You know, even back in my rock career, you were one of the ones that first started us to playing around Jackson, man. And I commend you for that. I really thank you for that.
Man, look, thank you. You know, well, Jonathan called.
Oh yeah.
So
shout out to Jonathan. What's up, man?
Jonathan Huddleston called.
Yeah.
Grills of Mississippi. Jonathan Huddleston. Well, free shout out there.
Free shout out. Grills of Mississippi.
I've known Jonathan going way back to high school. You know, he calls me. He's like, "Hey man, it's Jonathan. I'm managing this band. We would love to come play." We had a crazy. They hadn't been open a week at that point. I mean, you were the first. I want to say you were the first band we booked out there, but I can't. I just can't pin that tail on that donkey.
Yeah.
To 100% remember. But it was real close if it wasn't. And so, I want to make sure I get this right. So so he's like, "Hey, look, we're playing the Red Room at Howlin' Mouse. Come by and check us out." And you actually thought you had forgot about that show. You thought the first show in Jackson was at Crazy 8.
I did.
But it was at the.
So it was at Howlin' Mouse?
It was at Howlin' Mouse.
Wow, shout out to Howlin' Mouse, man.
Yeah, so I came to that show, and I don't know who told these people this. I mean, they weren't wrong, but they're like, "Look, hey Clay, man, we heard that you love that Nickelback song. How you remind me? We're gonna play that for you." You know, like I was like, "Oh yeah, heck yeah, man, I love that Nickelback."
Yeah.
You know, this is 2001.
Yeah.
It was the biggest song in the world at that point.
Absolutely.
And so I was thinking about that today. I was like, I'm going to have to get on here and tell a story about a band knowing I loved Nickelback so much that they played me a song at a show. If you had told me 20 years, which I still like Nickelback, but I get why people can kind of pick at them a little. You know, when you're successful, people pick.
Yeah. Why is that?
Haters going to hate.
Why do people get mad because people are successful?
I don't, because they're not. I mean, it's really like when I decided to start doing this podcast thing or live stream, whatever you want to call it. I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to quit making excuses. Joe Rogan, whoever, most successful YouTuber, live streamer, podcaster in the world, I have the exact same amount of access to people as he does.
Yeah.
With social media and YouTube and everything. I'm not. I don't think I'll ever be that big, but hey. I'm never gonna be if I don't start, you know. So instead of like looking at somebody like that and be like, "Oh man, you know, I'm mad. He's successful." I'm like, man, I want to watch and learn and dissect it, and see how can I do that, you know. But I don't know. I don't know why people do that. So what we were gonna say is, me and you talked the other day. And you're like, Clay, we're wasting time. I was like, what are you talking about? You're like, we need to be doing a podcast. Bubba's in Hattiesburg.
But yeah,
well, the first Jackson show.
Yeah, that's why I said the first Jackson. Shout out to Bubba's, man. Let me tell you something. That was my very first show in Hattiesburg. I turned 30 years old. My very first rock show, and it was at Bubba's in Hattiesburg. Shout out to Hattiesburg, baby. Yeah.
And y'all played a bunch of little small towns. Y'all were like
to me that was more intimate.
The small town circuit.
The small shows is way better to me. I love them.
So Phred hit me up. He's like, "We need to be doing a podcast, all the time." I was like, "Well, let's do this live stream, see how it goes." And look, I'm just gonna say, we need to do a podcast, or live stream, whatever you want to call these things.
Let's do it, man.
Of course, again, I've gotten so terrible. I forgot to hit the play button, so this extra mic here has just been a waste. We're not podcasting tonight, but it'll be available for all live stream and for all video outlets.
I think it'll be a good one, man.
I think so too,
come
man.
Up with a cool name and let's do it.
I'm with you. I think it gives people a chance to ask questions, maybe from either side,
from a perspective from different sides.
Like maybe somebody's uncomfortable asking me the question, but they're comfortable asking you, and vice versa. You know, it gives you opinion. I mean, me and Napoleon did, and he's gotten so big and busy that he does his own thing. But when you get two different people from two different backgrounds, two different races, it creates an opportunity for conversation that you're not going to get anywhere else, especially in Mississippi. You know, like me and Crystal do a show. It's a husband and wife thing. You know, I can't.
I'm not saying it would be good on them.
I'm not saying it don't exist, but you get a quasi political show between with a white dude and a black dude.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's on the radio anywhere in Mississippi right now.
You know,
I'm not saying it ain't, but in nowhere that I know of.
I think it'll be good.
There is a good I call it a podcast. There's two guys. I think one lives in Baton Rouge, one lives here. It's called Chestnut Checkers. It's Trey Butts and Malcolm. I can't remember his partner's name, but they do one. It's very similar. Two conservative leaning guys, one white, one black, and they follow this page and probably watching now. But shout out to Chess and Checkers podcast.
Shout out, guys.
You know, but yeah. Aside from that, I'd love to do it. You know, and I think it's something that we can help some people.
Yep.
You know, before we land this plane, music. You know, I tried to save this to the end.
Yeah.
Because it's the low hanging fruit for us. It's easy. It's how we met. What got you into rock? Now you did R&B prior to that, if I remember correctly. You sang. You were an R&B singer. Well, how did the rock thing come?
Well, I wanted to get into rock because at the time everybody was doing R&B and rap. Everybody, and I'm like, man, I wanted to stand out in a different way. I wanted to, and I never knew I was going to be in a rock band, but shout out to Jordan Schatz and Tracy Hobson. They are the ones that got me involved in a rock band. And Byers that owned Precision Audio at the time. I think me and Byers saw each other somewhere, and she knew that I did music, and she's like, you wouldn't believe this, Tracy's starting a band. And I was like, really? Tracy know how to play drums? You know, she was telling me about he bought a drum set. And I just went and tried out for the band. They had a lot of tryouts, and I went and tried out for the band, and I got chosen. They were like, man, this is going to be awesome. And man, from day one, I jumped in it.
Just energy, man.
It was just, I was strictly serious about it.
Yeah, me and Marvell were talking about that on the way home from Eaton. And he had asked me, had I heard any of your current stuff?
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't. I was like, but I have to assume it's good. I was like, but where for me with Phred, it was always the live show.
Can you even play some music on here? Would it be clear?
Well, I don't have the. Well, I mean, you would have to just put your speaker, your phone up to the mic.
Yeah, I got a new song. Chad Wesley actually heard the song.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, so it's a Christian song, right? And you know, and I remember you got saved about 3-4 years ago, or reacted or got heavily involved. You know, because I remember I saw the shift, and that's about the same time frame I did about 3 years ago. Got saved, and look, man, I still act up and cuss and
we human, man.
Drink cold beer.
If you're a human being, you're still gonna mess up. I mean, I have these talks with my brother Chad all the time, and you know, me and him had a nice conversation about this podcast, coming on here and talking, and he asked me, he said, "Are you gonna cuss? You better not cuss." I'm like, well, I'm gonna try not to, but that's still the human side of me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just who we are, man. It's some things that you're not gonna be perfect as a Christian. No one is perfect but Jesus. So you're not gonna never be perfect when it comes to that. And all you can do is try your best to walk the straight and narrow.
Well, you know, it's like people you see that what am I trying to say here? Project a perfect image on social media. The people that do that, I'm like, boy, they doing something dirty at the house. They are not. I try to wear everything on, you know, like I'm an open book.
Yes.
Like, you know, my past,
yes,
my present. I mean, outside of just some things that people just don't need to know because it doesn't advance anything. I'm very open about, you know, anything I've done, anything I do, any situation I'm in, because I'm a firm believer in, can I help somebody?
Absolutely. Your story can be that vessel that helps another person. You know, like me, I've never had a drink in my life. I never smoked, and you know, hopefully that, you know, you saw how wild I was when I did rock music.
You'd have never believed it.
Yeah, everybody always thought I was high because you know, but I never got into that. That was never my thing. And I mean, if that can help someone to say, look, if Phred don't drink and he still had fun. Life is not about, and I don't knock people for what they do. If you want to drink, you drink. You know, just be responsible. I don't get in people's business on what they do. I just don't do it. It's just not one of my things. But I'm not going to, look down.
I mean, you were always straight edge.
Yeah.
You know, and that's actually a term. You know, it's a alternate lifestyle called straight edge. Even somehow not drinking and smoking is an alternate lifestyle, but it's called straight edge. And it's kind of weird, but you would never know. I mean, you had so much adrenaline, and positivity, like just very rarely. And I'm like, I know that when you're in a band with people and you're close people and you're in close confines.
Yeah, you know, Ashley's on here talking about, oh, he had a wine cooler. He drank wine coolers before.
Yeah,
you know she's talking like that. A wine cooler's not nothing, Ashley. That's Kool-Aid.
Yeah, man. But so we followed Storage 24, Blindside. I don't even remember. When did the name change? when we realized there was another Blindside.
There was a band in Sweden called Blindside.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they sent us a message or we sent them a message. One of the two, but we ended up talking to each other. And they were signed to a major label. And they were already on MTV. And we were like, well, we got to change our name now.
The Storage 24 was the unit y'all were practicing, right?
Yeah, we was actually practicing a unit that was Storage 23. Next door was 24, so 24 had a better ring to it. So we were like, yeah, let's just go with Storage 24.
It does have a better ring to it. That's funny. That's funny. Who was AD was 24, wasn't he?
Yeah.
AD was 24.
Yeah.
I never put two and two together there.
Yeah, my man AD.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. All right, so Sonny was on here. He's been Sonny Evans. I don't know if you remember him or not, but he was running with us a bunch at the time. Sonny was like, man, remember that time we went down to the Battle of the Bands? At the casino?
Look at that. You heard that? Jordan, yeah, we opened for that band too, babe.
I remember
we
that.
actually opened for Blindside. Yeah, Jordan just said that. Way to go, Jordan Shots.
Yeah, where was that at, Jordan? I can't remember.
Was it at your club?
I want to say it was, but I don't remember it. That we had so many shows.
Jordan, if you know what we opened with, because Jordan don't forget nothing. He's got an elephant brain. He just everything sticks.
But there was that true music Battle of the Bands down on the coast. Mm-hmm. That the Three Doors Down bunch put together. Yep. It was outdoors in front of the Grand Casino, the one that ended up in the middle of the road after Katrina.
Yep.
You know, were y'all down there for that?
I think we won that.
Or did y'all win that?
We've won. We won the big Battle of the Bands at Panama City, Florida. Band of the year out of 10 bands from all over the world.
The Blindside show was at Howlin' Mouse.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I couldn't remember. I knew y'all played with them.
Yep. Man, you're taking me back to my roots, man. That was fun days, man.
And then we had you open up for Adam Ship.
Yep. Shout out to Joey. What's up, Joe?
Course of Nature. Joey stays on here, man. We stay in touch still to this day, man. Glad to see that guy.
Joey Covert.
Yeah, good people, man.
Best. Let me just put this out there, because people used to always thought I never showed love to people because they said I was kind of cocky and standoffish, which I wasn't. But to a lot of people, I probably were. But anyway, Chris Blevins and Joey. I think Chris Blevins is the first vocal that I heard, rock vocals that I heard, and I was like, wow, if I can get my voice like that. So I always give Chris the props that he's the first guy that I heard that had one of the best rock vocals. But Joey Covert, that kid's voice is bananas.
Joey's great, man. And Chris,
man, that dude got one of the best rock voices I ever heard on a human being.
Chris and Richie had that band. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And they played out at Buffalo Chips a lot. And
my ex-wife said he makes me sick. Yeah, man.
Called her out. Because you called her out about
Yeah.
this.
Sorry, Ash.
Yeah, man. We had some good times, man. There used to be such a great, vibrant rock scene in Jackson in the late '90s, early to mid 2000s. You know, and what Chip was doing down at Fire.
Yeah.
You know, man, it was in Rock 93 and just all that big shows.
We don't even have a rock
town.
station here no more, do we?
No.
Come on, Jackson.
You know, there's a part of me that says you don't need one with the digital, with having access to everything on your phone. Mm-hmm. But what you lose in that is hearing music you wouldn't have gone and listened to.
Absolutely.
Like my playlist is stuck in a classic. Unglued was the name of Chris's other band. You know,
Rock 93.9, man.
You know, but you lose getting exposed to music you wouldn't have hit play on. You know, and you lose the ability to promote a local rock show. Mm-hmm. You know, or a rock show coming to your town. You know, there's only so much you can do with the internet. You know, and that's what I miss. And I think that's what's killed rock music is so many kids that would have picked up a guitar 10 years ago or picking up a Serato on a computer to be DJs and techno. But I think it's starting to come back. I saw last year was the biggest year for guitar sales, maybe ever. Or it was something which I wouldn't have thought. But so last year was a huge year for guitar sales, which tells me they're getting inspired by somebody. And hopefully, with Eddie Van Halen's passing, something good comes out of it, and some kids discover real rock music and want to start playing some absolute face melting rock and roll. You know, and we eventually get another rock station, and But you got to have a rock star.
I'm fixing to ask Jordan if you're listening, but I know you are. But should I play our new stuff, the Project of Prophecies? You think old Nate will like that? Should I play a little bit a snippet of the song? You let me know. And to the people that are listening, I want to throw out a new song and see what y'all think about it. Just play a little bit of it.
And Clint asked, did Rock 93.9 have Lex and Terry? They did, Clint. They're towards the end. They had the Lex and Terry morning show, if my memory serves me correct.
He said do it.
He said what?
Do it.
Let me find it.
David Peoples just joined from State Games.
Oh, really? What's up, David? Shout out to my boy Dave. All right, Clay. I'm gonna try to play some of this stuff. Guess I'll play the latest.
So Fred's gonna play us a song off his new album.
How do you just stick it up to the?
Yeah, just turn the mic side up and just put it right here.
Or is it this mic?
Yeah, this side.
Y'all tell me what you think.
Good, man. It's got that.
All right, that's all y'all getting.
That's got that classic Phred sound. That's rock.
I tell you what, I got to give a shout out to Jordan. Jordan played the drums, the guitar, the bass, and also Nate. Nate played on it a lot too, man.
Man, that's good. That's good to hear that, man. My soul needed to hear Phred singing. I'd forgot how much I missed that. You know, because I have to say that I've got to be in the top 5 or 10 people most viewed Storage 24 shows.
Yes.
You know,
you literally traveled with us.
You know, so I have seen my share of Storage 24 shows, and you know, it's like I said, I miss it. I would love. I tell you what, the last show that we did was when I had you guys open up for 12 Stones out at the Hideaway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was the last show I was involved in. I want to say that it was either that one or the Absence of Concern show. Well, you did the Absence of Concern too.
Uh-huh.
We got everybody. We got like all the bands back together for one night. It was what, Absence of Concern.
Yeah,
you guys, and
that was a good show too.
That was a great show.
That was a good show, man.
Who else played on that show? That was a 3-band bill. Somebody else opened that show.
Somebody said best vocals ever.
Man, I can't remember. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. The name of the band. They were like the last rock band from around here that played original music. Mud? No, it wasn't Mud Honey. It wasn't Mudface.
Mudface.
No, it wasn't Mudface. It was
Mudface.
Man, I can't remember. Anyway, it'll come to me. I can vision the singer and everybody in the band right now. I just can't remember the name of it. But I mean, that was good times, and that was kind of and that show. I don't want to call it a funeral for the local rock scene because it wasn't the show. The show didn't kill it, but it was like, it was the last, you know, rock show that the town's had in a while, especially of local bands from that era. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like everybody kind of rode off into the sunset a little bit after that. Mm-hmm. You know, Absence of Concern they didn't play it. That was just a one-off get back together show. You know, for the holidays, you guys played, and then everybody just kind of went on and did their own thing after that, man. Yeah. You know, I got out of it, and you know, I was always one of the guys that put the stuff together.
Spank the monkey.
No, God. Man, look, and I'm good friends with those guys too, man. They're great. They're great guys. That whole Southeast, the Splendid Chaos.
Somebody say I want to hear the rest of it.
You have to wait for the album. Wait for the single.
Yeah, wait for the single. Yeah.
I guess nobody releases albums anymore, unfortunately. You know, but let's see. My brother used to model for Jars of Clay merch. Legit. Wasn't Jars of Clay a Christian band? Is a Christian band?
Jars of Clay. Oh, that's a Christian band, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People want to know when they can get the song. Have you got a timeline on releasing it?
Here we go. Was it that good?
Heck yeah. People want to support people they like.
Yeah, that's good, man.
You know,
but that's what we need to get back into that though. You know, the rock scene is gone around Jackson, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, those are some of the best times of my life, man. Just going to shows and playing Crazy Eights and 105,
Club
man.
43.
43.
Y'all played up there a good bit, right?
Yeah, I love that place too.
You know, I mean, that cat passed away recently.
Oh yeah. What was Club 43? What was his name? Derek.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, D, man. Yeah, Derek. Yeah, he got us out there. We played out there a lot. That's what I'm saying. I love those intimate areas. Those little small places always gave us that good vibe, man. Because people would just pack in there and just have a good show, man.
And the relationships and stuff you build with people. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, you know how you can go somewhere and if it's just a DJ playing, the testosterone is pretty thick in the building and more fights seem to happen. Mm-hmm. But if it's a band playing, I can take my South Jackson butt to Vicksburg, to 43, to wherever, and we never got any drama.
No.
Not when a band was playing.
No, because, those are the best times. Just sitting there thinking about those times, those are the best time of my life, man. I had the most fun being on that stage.
Yeah.
And watching all these people react and all these people that were just out to have a good time. And places used to be packed. Now you can't, that's gone, man. All that fun is gone.
Yeah, you know, and I'm gonna tell you, for me, it was the biggest high, most rewarding thing to sit here at the house and like, okay, I'm gonna put this band and this band and this band on this night, and we're gonna call it the Low Dough Day Before Thanksgiving show or Christmas Mayhem or something like that, and 500-600 people show up to an idea that I birthed, you know, and put together, great, and it was just like it worked, and as a promoter for something to work.
And the participation of that feeling of when I used to drive, you know, in my job, and I used to be like, man, we got a show tonight. It just that anticipation of waiting, like, oh, I cannot wait to this show tonight because the people, man. Mississippi just got great people, man.
Those days I would wake up and it was so exciting, especially during the winter months. It was so exciting to get down to the club because it got dark earlier.
Yep. And
the band starts showing up and unloading gear.
Yep.
And it was just like, there's about to be a rock show.
The smell of it. The smell of a rock show in the air.
You know, it's like when you go to a detail shop and you can smell that bubblegum tire shine. Yep. It's like, man, it just smells like money to me, you know, coming from the car business. And the rock show was the same way back in the day. It's like, man, start rolling in the black cases and the guitars and the drums.
That type of fun, man. It was just so much fun. People are still talking.
People just talking about old shows. Clint says most lively show I've ever been to was 18 years old Afro Man playing at 105.
Yeah, old Afro Man.
You know, I got pictures. He crashed on my couch here several times.
I don't even know what that means.
I think he was trying to say goat.
Oh, goat.
Goat. So, let's see, man. Y'all got any questions for Phred, for me? Y'all want to see us do this again? I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Danny White. Danny's one of our advertisers,
was
man.
Up to like live 50-some people almost at one time.
You know, and look, and it surges in and out. And what you'll end up seeing is people will go back in the morning when they're getting ready for work and throughout the day. And over about 3 or 4 days after these things, it'll get 4,000 or 5,000 views. So just because you don't get that huge number live doesn't mean you won't get it. Because then we're going to put it on YouTube, and they'll do pretty well there. And I think it's a good conversation to be had. And then I'll cut it up into clips.
Yeah.
You know, where people don't have to listen to 2 hours to hear us talk about one subject. You know?
If I had any last words to say to people, man, it would just be, just learn to get along. Don't judge people just because of their color or just because you think they're different from you. Get to know people. Get to know people and engage in conversation with different races and just see how those people live. And that's what I mean. I'm all about sharing love to multiple people, man. I just like to be around everybody. And that's what I take from that. Shout out to Brown Bottom again. Love y'all, man.
Yeah, I said Clint said he worked with Mario from 601 Players at Mark Escalade. Man, Mario was good people, dude. We used to run around with them cats, the 601 crew. They were great people.
I've been knowing Mario before he was born. I've been knowing him since a little kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah, dude, I'm going to tell you, shout out to everybody. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all make sure you get out and vote Tuesday. I'll be back on multiple times this week. I got Napoleon's coming over tomorrow night. We're going to record the podcast, and it's going to air Saturday on WYAB.
Whoever you voting for, be proud of who you voting for. I mean, don't, ain't no use to us disliking each other because we have a different opinions. It's all good.
No,
God bless you all.
I'm actually thinking about getting another lunch together the Tuesday after the election. Not the day of, but the following Tuesday. And, and having everything time to simmer for a second. And then getting a bunch of folks together and be like, all right, we're a week removed. Where are we at?
Man, this young lady said, bring in the wives next time.
Man, look, we would, and my next paycheck, I'm going to buy some more mics and get this situated.
I give you the mics I got because they just sitting up collecting dust.
And
they still in the box.
I bought this because it's a USB mic and just
I
plug
got two
straight
of
in.
these. I got two booms.
Nice. Well, we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do it, man. And, have mics will travel, and I think, let's say, I want this show to evolve into, but the Save Jackson page and this show aren't necessarily the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want this to evolve to the conversation, to the interview show with Jackson. Like I told you, I want to be the Jacktown Joe Rogan. You sit down and just have these long-form conversations with people. Give everybody a chance to talk, reconnect. There's people like you. You've been out of the limelight for a minute.
Yep.
But you've got a great story to tell. You connect with a lot of people. You're a very relatable person.
I appreciate that.
And I wanted to give people who may not be familiar with Storage 24 a chance to see who Phred is. Enjoyed it with you. Great show. I love it, man. Loved it. I was saying, Mandy says, I really enjoyed the show, guys. Hope you do it again. And look, man, we appreciate you guys for sure. Clint, we appreciate you. Sonny, Chip, everybody, Tanya.
And those of you who like, especially women, those of you who like boutique clothes, shop at Harley Ray Boutique in Madison, Mississippi. That's my wife's store.
Oh, is that, y'all have a store, right? I forgot about that. Well, we'll make sure we promote that on the show.
Absolutely.
What's the website or Facebook, or what's the best way for them to look online?
Harley Ray Boutique. Just on Facebook.
Yeah. On Facebook, Harley Ray Boutique. You can share it in the
all you women who love boutique clothes, you do. All y'all like to shop. It's a beautiful store, 5,000 square foot building. Come on out there on Main Street. Is it Main Street? It is Main Street. Madison Avenue.
So you have a physical location. It's not just an online store.
No. It's physical location. And it's about to be online too, as well.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I saw where Facebook is now offering things where you can do your online sales to them.
Pin the store. Somebody already know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
That's Harley Ray Boutique.
Yeah, I'm going to share it in a Save Jackson post.
Okay.
And I'll do that when we get off here. All right, so winding down.
Somebody said, Phred, let's hear acapella.
Oh, Gabe.
Oh, man.
Ricky, just text me, man. What's up, brother? Look, finish up with these sponsors here, and then we'll close. We'll land the ship. Okay. USA Pawn, 6 locations. McDowell Road, Woodrow Wilson, Ellis Avenue, Pearson Road and Pearl, Canton at Peace Street, and Warrenton Road in Vicksburg. USAPawn.com. Check them out. Flat screens, laptops, electronics, tools, gold, silver, jewelry, and of course, what pawn shops do, they loan money. So hit up Nick and the crew at USA Pawn. You cannot go wrong with USA Pawn. And they sell guns and all that at the guns and ammo at the McDowell Road store. Also,
what's up, Dalton? You just said it.
Yeah, man. I love when we get to rolling, man.
Yeah.
The gym at Byram, you can't go wrong with the gym at Byram. Best fitness facility in the South, in my opinion. It's got to be at least 10, 12,000 square feet. It's huge. It's got everything you need. If you can imagine it, they can do it. We'll get you updated on their specials for next month here in the next day or so. But check them out online, thegymatbyram.com. You can do a virtual tour there. Really, really cool. Give them a call, 601-372-2229. Indoor basketball courts, tennis courts, private women's workout area, full locker rooms, hammer strength workout equipment, and a massive cardio area and tanning, as Crystal will have me remind y'all. Last but not least, father and son, Southern Lawncare, Danny White and the team. Give them a call to get all your lawn care needs in the Tri-County area. 601-301-3210. That is 601-301-3210. And I tagged all of these folks' Facebook pages in the top of this, so check them out. And Harley Ray Boutique in Madison.
Absolutely.
If you like boutique clothing, that is Phred's wife's store.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
I've taught so much. I've taught myself into not remembering names tonight. I was like, I know it sounds right.
It was a good show, though, man.
Man, it was.
A good show. We covered a lot of ground. It was a lot of ground.
We taught so much at lunch today.
Yeah, we should have had a mic then.
We should have had a mic.
That would have been perfect.
I was like, man, and so for the sake of not boring ourselves, repeating the same conversations, I tried to get unique and whatnot.
I think it went well, though. I think it was a good show. We got out a lot of stuff we wanted to get out.
We did. You know, and look, there'll be times, man, when we get back together and we'll do this and we'll talk about football.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully State has won a game. You know,
this weekend coming up. I
don't know. Yeah, Alabama. I'm going to take this weekend off too. But hey, look, you know,
I just hope Leach don't be a stubborn coach, man.
That's why they play the games, though.
God, he's gonna have to change some stuff up, man.
Well, you know, it's nice to see that State and Ole Miss have gotten back into the who didn't lose by the least amount of points game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you know, at least we only lost to Bama by 40. Well, we only lost by 30. So we're better.
60.
Yeah. You know.
We lost by 60.
So, man, you just don't know, man. We fought publicly so hard about high school football and college football, and I'm just glad they're playing. It is different, though. I was talking to Crystal the other night. I said, man, or Dad. I was like, it's just different.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I just have a hard time getting into it quite as much. Mm-hmm. It really lets you know, anybody who thought the fans weren't important, y'all are just fans.
Yeah.
Well, the fans and the noise and the energy and everything are what really
means everything to the game.
It does. We're finding out how important the fans are, regardless of your political opinions on the NBA and all that. Without fans in the stands, I mean, nobody watched it.
Nope.
You know, it's like the fans put that energy in it, and then these big empty stadiums with football. So if you're a fan, just know you're important.
Absolutely.
You are absolutely important, and I'm seeing that, and I hope they're seeing that. And then, you know, some of these schools and some of these stadiums work on their fan experience, and get people back into the stadiums, out of their living rooms and whatnot.
There we go.
Oh, Sonny and Chip Matthews have been my lifelong. They're the reason I hate Ole Miss.
Yeah. Oh, Chip.
Chip will
been
make
on me for years, man.
Chip will make anybody hate Ole Miss. Like, if you're on the fence at all, hang out with Chip, and you will hate Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Like, I used to not care that much until about 01, 2000, 99, when I started hanging out with Chip. I was like, dear God, I hate Ole Miss. I'll never forget watching Ole Miss Alabama game or Ole Miss Auburn. I can't remember who it was. At Buffalo Chip South, the old Mississippi Bar Nothing.
Yeah. With
Chip. And by the end of that game, I was like, I've never hated a school more than I hate Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You know, and that was where really the Ole Miss hate birthed. You know. Well, cool. Well, Phred.
Jake, we didn't see you at lunch today, but that's all right. You still my guy. Jake Wimley, what's up?
Yeah, I saw Jake in there. He was in here at one point. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Phred, right. Stephanie.
It's been real.
Thank y'all for coming over.
Oh, no problem. No problem. It's fun, man.
Yeah. Got any shout-outs, goodbyes, anything you need to give?
I just want to say, start loving each other. Start hanging out with each other. You'll find that life could be so much better. Yeah. Love you guys.
We're going to try to lead by example and do just that
God
ourselves.
Bless.
That's why we're here.